Barely a year and a half ago, the Ghana Football Association elected new officials after a tumultuous normalization period. These officials were tasked with the odious task of transforming the Ghana Football Association, and the leader of this particular leadership is the president of the Ghana Football Association, who we shall be speaking to very shortly. This is the big interview coming to you from Football Made in Ghana. We will look at how the transformation agenda has started and how they aim at making Ghana football the best on the continent to compete with the rest in the world. I have with me this afternoon the president of the Ghana Football Association, Mr. President. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
It's been a long time since we met, ever since your election as the president of the Ghana Football Association. We are having our shot for the first time. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You've always been moving around. You are now like somebody said, a pilot.
No, I'm always available where I have to be present. So if you've not been able to find me, it means I don't have to be present at where you are.
You've been in office for barely a year and a half. When you were voted into office, you had an idea of the task you were going to handle. How has the planning and the execution been so far for you?
Well, I think that it's been good. It's been challenging, to be honest, because obviously being outside and being inside are not the same. Okay, so being inside gives you a better perspective of the situation. But having said that, I think that I have a very, very hard-working executive committee. I have a very, very hard-working National Secretariat led by the General Secretary. The 10 RFAs have been working overtime to make sure that they are ready for the new agenda. I think that overall we've started very, very well, and we need to keep our eyes firmly on the road and ensure that we deliver on promise.
You mentioned the RFAs. I'll go to them before I come back to my main question. The RFAs have been complaining, and I've been hearing this around, with regards to the stats of the Division 2 and Division 3 leagues. We know there's COVID, but Division 1 and Premier League and the Women's Premier League are ongoing. What's happening, and what is the plan for the RFA so far?
Well, I think that we have been engaging, okay, and my 10 RFA chairman and their officers are very much aware of what is happening and how we are all preparing for the resumption of games. In the next few days, again, we would engage, and I am sure that very, very soon, and I'm saying very, very soon, we shall start to consume not only juvenile football, but also the 3rd Division League and the 2nd Division leagues.
Before you became the president of the Ghana Football Association, you were an executive committee member of the association. How has that experience helped in the transformation of the federation under your watch?
Well, I've no doubt that the 2 years plus that I served on the previous ESCO gave me lots of experience, made me to know my colleagues much better, and obviously placed me on a level that I could only be better as an administrator. So following up from that experience, we now have an opportunity again to continue the management of our sport. And I think that, like I said in the beginning, I have 11 other colleagues of the highest quality who have dedicated their time, who attend meetings very, very regularly and contribute towards the national cause. And I believe that together we are in the right way. We are in the right way.
There's been questions that if you had all these ideas, the vision and everything, why were you unable to inject this into the ESCO when you were a member at that time, but you are now doing all these things as a president of the federation?
Well, I served as a member of the ESCO, of the then ESCO. At that time, apart from general ESCO discussions, I was also mandated to be the vice chairman of the Black Stars B, and also the chairman of the FA Cup committee. And I think that on the score of what we delivered, I did quite well. We were able not only to bring sponsorship to the product that was defunct for 10 years, but we managed and improved the product that became the envy of many in this country. And I'm talking about the MT and FA Cup. So I think that we did serve, and through the mercies of the Almighty God and our people who belong to the industry, I have a unique opportunity to serve in a different capacity as the leader of the football family. So yes, my ideology comes into play because I'm the leader of the family, and my philosophies come into play because I'm the leader of the family, even though I have to bring everybody along into believing in what I believe in. So it's quite different being a member and being a leader.
If you're just connecting, we are coming to you live from the boardroom of the Ghana Football Association with the president of the Ghana Football Association. It's a privilege, and we shall be asking all the difficult questions that you have sent us from behind. Mr. President, you took over from a normalization period, a period where Ghana football had gone into the doldrums. So the task of lifting it from the bottom and placing it on top of the table was very arduous. As requested by transparency, your leadership was able to put out what you inherited in office in terms of the liabilities, the debts that the GFA was owing and all other stuff. But Ghanaians are asking, how much did you inherit when you came into office?
I think that I'm not in a position to speak about this because I've already spoken about this at Congress, and soon we'll be back again at Congress to discuss again issues that directly affect our football association. But I think we've steadily moved away from that period where we had to look back, and we are in a situation where we're very positive about the future. We are steadily steadying the ship and putting in the right policies, the right personnel to ensure that we bring the industry back on the level that we all desire. It is very true that our industry was challenged because of the period of the ANAS expose and normalization. But gradually, the Ghanaian sporting populace, the Ghanaian public are beginning to accept that the game is back in a different way, in a way and manner that would eventually come back and belong to the very top on the African continent. And I think that the exploits of the national U20 team speaks volumes and gives us an indication of what the future holds for us. The team is made up of talented kids who overly dedicated themselves towards fighting for glory for Mother Ghana. And as it is that we continue to guide them up to the apex of Ghanaian football, I am sure that we will soon bring back all the trophies that we've lost in the time past.
You mentioned the ANAS expose, the normalization period, and then just as you were about to zoom off, COVID also came. Are you unlucky?
Well, I think that I knew from day one that we'd taken over Ghanaian football at a time that it was most challenged, for which reason it's not going to be an easy road into bringing back the sport. I was very much aware of this, but I've always been determined to steady the ship, to lay down the good foundation, and to ensure that not only our national teams become very, very competitive, but also our domestic leagues become very, very interesting. And indeed, I think that on the score of what has happened in the last year and a half, I think we are in the right way.
You've mentioned the domestic leagues, and certainly the Ghana Premier League is the chief of all the domestic leagues.
Oh, did you say the chief?
It is.
Okay, so which one is a linguist?
The Division 1 league. You have been a true and true football person. You eat football, you sleep football, you drink football, everything football about you. How impressed are you with the level of play in the Ghana Premier League currently?
I think overall it's been very, very competitive. Very, very competitive. Before the commencement of the season, we had no doubt that the Ghanaian football populace, corporate Ghana, were very much yearning for the return of association football in this country. So when we had the green light from the government, we were obviously in a hurry to roll out the season. Quality of play has been on the rise. We've seen some very, very good games. We've seen some very, very interesting players. Administratively, I think we've been there. We are there. It's been very good. Club owners, club administrators, executives have all been up and doing, respecting the policies and strategies that we've been rolling out over weeks and over months. Match officials have been breathing a new lease of life into the football industry. I know that we still have a long way to go, but we would improve given the quantum of investments we're making in refereeing, for example, in women's football, for example, in development of coaches, for example. I know that we'll definitely get there.
When you say you have a long way to go, what do you exactly mean by we still have a long way to go to improve?
Because change doesn't take one day. Mm-hmm. Change processes don't take one day, because people naturally are adamant to change. For which reason that we need to keep pressing the right buttons, rolling out the right policies, and ensuring that we continue to preach the gospel of change. Okay, I have said that I'll run a completely clean and transparent administrative system, and I have to ensure that at all times, on all facets of the football ecosystem, we are in the right way. Okay, so it will take time, I would say. Rome, we always say, was not built in a day. But as we progress along, as we get the right people at the right positions, as we get our coaching right, our refereeing right, education of judicial cases right, I am very positive about the future.
You mentioned the level of play in the Ghana Premier League, and obviously it's sumptuous, but it could get better. But the level of pitches in the league have always been a challenge.
I don't really think that it's about the quality of pitches. It's about our maintenance culture, so to say. Generally, we don't have bad pitches in the country, but if the pitches are not maintained, if the grass are not attended to over time, we see bad pitches coming out. Okay, and it's one of the key reasons why I spoke and have pursued the idea of a borehole strategy, that to supply water to our people. And I know that the country is very much expectant of we rolling out that strategy. And all that I'll say is that let's be patient. Just like with the IT project that I spoke about from the word go, now clubs, 18 clubs in the Premier League, 48 in Division 1, and 16 Women Premier League clubs are all going to receive the computers, the printers, the scanners, etc., etc. Some of the RFAs have already taken delivery of the logistics, and I believe that not too long from now, we'll be ready also to roll out the borehole strategy. We've been working closely with FIFA on this. And I think we're getting to the home stretch, okay? We're looking at a situation where every center would have good water, for which reason we expect that clubs will maintain their pitches 365 days in a year, okay? And I'm sure that when that is fixed, we'll be adding more value to not only our Premier League, our Women's Premier League and the Division 1 League.
You mentioned maintenance culture, and now the borehole system is just about to be enrolled. Are there going to be specific, guidelines for clubs to manage this borehole system very well? Because if care is not taken, some communities will even be relying on the borehole for water.
I'm very sure that the General Secretary and the team will come out with clear guidelines. Obviously, we expect that some local community folks will also run to us for water, if it is within the means of the clubs to give extra water. If they're generating more water and they can help their local communities, why not? But I am very, very clear that once we roll out that policy, people will naturally be responsible enough to maintain their pitches and then to ensure that the pictures that come out of our games are exactly what we need for development of football in this country. You remember some few weeks ago when there was a live game from the Theatre of Dreams in Deu.
Yeah.
Obviously, people complained about what they saw. From Dansoman, people complained. From the Brownford region, people complained, and a few other venues. And it's all about our maintenance culture. It's also about the lack of water. Water from Ghana water is obviously expensive.
Yes.
So I believe that this idea of the borehole strategy will come in handy in the long run.
We've ended the first round of the league, going into the second round with regards to the Premier League, and still there is no headline sponsor. Is that a huge headache for you? And how are you remedying that particular situation?
No, we took over Ghana football at the time that the image of the sport has sunk so low. Again, we were faced with a journey out of the Anas expose that totally dismantled Ghana football, brought the game to a complete halt, and then we were also faced with COVID. We are still fighting COVID. Nevertheless, our football association has worked extremely well in getting corporate Ghana's attention on this journey, and I am sure that the list of companies who are currently supporting our leagues and our national teams would only increase over time. We're speaking about headline sponsors, but we also have other sponsors who are investing money, including but not limited to Star Times, who are investing money, Malcolm, who are investing money, just to mention a few. You know what I mean? Woodin, etc., Awake, which is from Casa Percon, investing money in domestic football. So the marketing department led by Jamel Marabi, everybody on the council, the various agents who have dedicated their time working for the Football Association will definitely come up with more investments for our football, and that may include a headline sponsor. Sponsorship or funding of football is not only about headline sponsor, okay? There are various and varied sponsorship levels which we are aggressively pursuing, and I believe that very soon we'll have a lot more investments coming into the game.
How soon are we going to have a headline sponsor?
I don't own companies, sorry. What I do know is that we've been very, very aggressive. We have sponsors who currently we must show appreciation to. Again, Star Times is investing over $1 million a year. Okay, not to speak about Malcolm and the other partners that we have. Let's give them respect. They are investing in the Ghanaian game, and we will continue to work towards bringing in more investments in the game.
I know your love and admiration for young and exuberant people who want to live long in the sport and develop it. Is the reason perhaps you brought the catch them young refereeing policy. It's moving on well. Are we having a catch them young coaching policy as well?
Catch them young coaching policy. First, I would say that I'm extremely happy that one of the foremost and most important policies that we have rolled out has been the catch them young refereeing policy. And I must say thank you to Mr. Alex Kote, the referees manager, who has been at the forefront of this strategy, traveling across the length and breadth of the country, and ensuring that the kids are receiving maximum attention. Very soon, when the juvenile season rolls out, you would see the young referees in the middle. That will bring some excitement. Coaching is another need area that we have identified. Indeed, the Technical Directorate, led by the ever hardworking Bedan Lipe, have been at the forefront, putting together regional coach instructors, national coach instructors, bringing back the licenses programs or trainings, i.e. the license D. Soon we're going to have the license C, license B, and license A. But obviously, when you invest in coaches early, when you invest in referees early, you would only benefit in a millionfold at the end. And investing in coaching coaches at a very much younger age will also be an option that we'll be looking at. In the last few days, the Technical Directorate did run a seminar for coach instructors, okay? And we had 18 coach instructors undergoing training. This is unprecedented. Very soon, these 18 coach instructors will also be deployed across the country to run the courses for us. And this is a firm commitment that we made in the beginning. And we have said that we'll bring the training or the courses to the doorstep of the people. Okay, so these coaches will go into the regions and run all the coaching licenses to ensure that as many people as possible get the needed education in their attempt to be coaches for the future. But yes, catch them young coaches may also be an option for us.
We are still on human development, and one of the things that you were so keen on was to get the Ghana Police Service to get a football policing unit so that we can sanitize the system and then ensure our matches are, violent free. How far with that particular, vision?
I think that it's a vision that has not been, so to say, left unattended. We've been engaging the right people, and again, it will just be a matter of time. Some of these policies will be actualized. When it is that the decisions do not wholly rely on us, then obviously we need to work with the established system. And the FA would do whatever it takes to improve on all the identified need areas of our football ecosystem.
We'll be drawing the curtain on the Premier League and, descend into the Division 1 League, and then later we look at the national teams. But then, my last question on the Premier League. Player exodus seem to be a headache that no medicine is curing it for us in Ghana. And just as the league was even 9 matches old, players were leaving. Daniel Lomote of Wafa left, and then Kwame Opoku of Asante Kotoko is also on his way out. How worrying, is this player exodus canker to you as the head of the Ghana Football Association?
Well, I think that naturally people would want the star names to stay within the country and to add value to the league. Unfortunately, we are in a developing world where we are always in competition with external markets, just like South America and Asia, for which reason at all times the more established markets will come to the less established markets to look for look for solutions to their footballing problems. Okay, so it's a very, very competitive market. We want to, as much as possible, to improve on the football economy, to encourage more of our own to stay within the country. But you cannot also stop players from pursuing higher levels of playing platforms, higher levels of economic targets, and perhaps better or more enhanced working conditions, because it is no doubt that when a few of the players also get the opportunity to go outside the shores of Ghana, they come back to help our national teams as much better and improved players. So we need to find a way to blend and to manage the process well. Our biggest challenge is to produce more talents, okay? If it is that we are producing more talents, just like the other developing countries, like the South Americans, I'm sure will not be found wanting. But first is to improve on our products, our leagues, and that's what I'm talking about here, and then the football economy, and then hopefully we should be able to close the gap.
Do you believe in the call that there should be a salary cap for players in the Ghana Premier League?
It is a very debatable topic. I think that there are so many stakeholders in this kind of decision-making process, and we will always differ on how it is that it has to be done. I am for enhanced playing conditions for players, and that's what we are working towards, to ensure that players get enough attention, the welfare of players are much improved, and to ensure that all the basic logistics that players need to be able to compete are provided. But to cap salaries of players, I would say we have to be careful, okay? What we need to focus on is improving the general good of the player in this country.
If you are just connecting, we are coming to you live from the boardroom of the Ghana Football Association with the president of the Ghana Football Association, Mr. Kurt Simeon Okraku. It's a privilege to have him. So just like I indicated earlier, all the questions are going to be asked today. We now descend into the Division 1 League, and it is the second league to the Ghana Premier League. There were, calls that there's going to be an 18-club national Division 1 league. How far is the preparation for that particular 18-club Division 1 league, and what is going into that?
So we have been discussing the restructuring of Ghana football. That includes an independently managed Premier League, and that also includes an enhanced National Division 1 League, and that also includes the revival of juvenile football across the regions. That also includes more attention being paid to women's football. Okay, so it's all part of the process. Now, the issue regarding the Division 1 League is still under consideration. We formed a committee led by the Vice President of the FA, and I'm told that their report is ready. We will look at the report, we'll engage all stakeholders, and once we are ready, we'll come out publicly on the way forward for the future Division 1 League.
There were calls that, or indicators that the major project or the major product of the Ghana Football Association was the Ghana Premier League. And now that it's such an autonomous body, the Ghana Football Association has no product. The reason why the FA is trying to make the Division 1 League and National Division 1 League 18. How true is that?
No, all products, i.e. the Premier League, the Division 1 League, juvenile leagues, regional second division, third division leagues are products of the Football Association. The FA Cup the newly introduced Women's Super Cup, the Dual Super Cup, are all products of the FA, and they are all owned by the FA. We have decided that we believe an independently managed Ghana Premier League is the way to go, okay? And once that is done, we would then pull together all the resources into the Division 1 League, into juvenile football, and the other products belonging to the Football Association. I think that singular strategy would rather enhance the quality and management of our various products.
Finances, money, have always been the problem of Ghana football, especially with clubs in the Division 1 League. There are calls that the government made a pledge, to support clubs during this particular COVID period. When are the Division 1 League clubs getting their money?
Well, I think that, first of all, let's roll back the time. That is the FA, engaged government to come and support domestic football during this challenging COVID period. Indeed, with the support of the then Sector Minister, Honorable Isiama, we met with central government, after which an official announcement by the minister was made. And what was the announcement? The government committed itself in supporting each Premier League club with 100,000 Ghana cedis, each Division 1 and Women's Premier League club with 50,000 Ghana cedis each. Now, sequel to that, some money was released. And how much was released? 50,000 per club, per Premier League club. Okay. Now, in between time, Ghana went through elections, and then a new government was formed. Then we had a new sector minister. Last week, even though we had written to the ministry reminding them of the commitment of the promise by the government, last week we met with the sector minister, Honorable Mustafa, to remind him about the promise made by government. We will follow it up again with an official letter. And I think that the Honorable Minister is committed to ensuring that promise by the government is fulfilled. So let's all just be patient. The minister is I think this is his second week in office, if I'm not mistaken, and I am sure that we should have that money soon.
Due to time constraints, perhaps some of our questions will be shifted for another time, but we will quickly jump from the Division 1 League and enter the technical department of the Ghana Football Association. Mr. President, we are told that before appointing the technical director of the Ghana Football Association, you really faced a daunting task in appointing him as the technical director. How true is that, and how difficult was it for you to appoint Bernard Lepe as the technical director of the FA?
I don't know what that means really, but I think we had a list of close to 200 applicants.
200?
Who were interested in working with Ghana, both local and foreign. And from this, we narrowed it down to 8, and then to 6 eventually, and Bernard Lepe was picked. He definitely came out as the very best, well trained, well experienced, managed in the Bundesliga, and for 12 years was a TD for Azerbaijan. So when we settled on him, we knew what to expect, and indeed we are currently going through the motions with him.
You have a special appetite for expatriate coaches, and almost every Ghanaian knows that.
Hello?
Your appetite for expatriate coaches is not alien to Ghanaians, and from where you've worked previously as the director of Dreams FC, everybody who had followed you closely knew how you...
Just say from my club, for your Dreams FC.
Yes. So...
Who's the former director? What is that? Dreams FC is my club.
It's your club, but you are the former director.
It's my club. I'm the owner of the club. I'm the chairman of the club. I'm not the executive chairman of the club.
For your club, Dreams FC.
Yes.
So
don't take away from my sweat.
Nobody will take you away from that. It's yours and it belongs to you.
Yeah.
So, what is really the issue why you have that appetite for expatriate coaches?
Okay, so I have an appetite for quality coaches. I have an appetite for coaches who can bring results. If it is that it's a yellow coach who can bring results, I go for the yellow coach. It's simple.
Is that what informed, the appointment of Lipet as the technical director?
Because Lipet was one of the close to 200 applicants, and he came up tops. Whether he's black, yellow, or white, it's not important. He came up tops, and he's the best.
To say that you have an appetite for quality coaches, does that mean that we don't have quality coaches in our system?
I've worked with lots of coaches in Ghana. Loads. I don't know. I've lost count of the number of coaches locally that I have employed. So if it is that you give me the belief that you know your business, I'll work with you. It's simple. Ghana or football is about results. And Jose Mourinho will tell you that when you go into the Guinness Book of Records, you'll see the people who won the trophies and not the people who played sweet football.
We are gradually cruising into the slippery zone and the area where every Ghanaian wants to watch and listen the national teams. And we start with the Black Stars. What's your relationship with the head coach of the club, of the Black Stars, Sheikh Akonnor?
Oh, what question is that? I have, first of all, I'm the leader of the football family. I'm the leader of the executive committee of the FA. The ESCO makes appointments, and that includes appointment of coaches for all our national teams. If the ESCO is not happy with any coach, the coach will not be at post. Once the coach is at post, it means the ESCO, led by my good self, have a healthy working relationship with the coach. Simple as that.
Social media is impregnated with reports that almost a year now you are not on talking terms.
Oh, well, I mean, if you are involved in the business of football, rumors and wrong perspectives, people trying to read other minds, which is scientifically impossible, always comes into play. I mean, if I don't believe in Charles Akonnor as the head trainer of our Black Stars, obviously I'll convince my ESCO into coming along with me that he's not the right guy. Charles Akonnor is our coach. We have to support him to be successful. I trust him. Just like any other person, we may differ in the way we think things has to be done, but once he's there, means I trust him. And I will support Charles Akonnor to bring back the love to Ghanaian people. Just like I have trusted Abdul Karim Zito, and he brought back the love. He won the AFCON. Charles will be successful as a coach of Ghana, but it behoves on all of us to help Charles to be successful. It behoves on all of us to be honest in our assessments of what we are doing as people, and to ensure that we press the right buttons at all times. I mean, who knows Charles Akonnor more than me? Who knows? No, nobody, because I'm the person who's worked with him throughout his career. Throughout. So I know him. I know what he can do. I know what he cannot do. And he knows I know what he cannot do. And together we would work towards achieving that target of envy, of not only making sure that our national team, the Black Stars, is competitive, but we touch that trophy. That has been very elusive to all of us.
Do you always see the list of players when there's going to be a call-up by the coach before it is announced?
But how can the call-ups be released without the president of the FA or the FA signing off? I mean, it's not a question that even has to be questioned. It's not a question that has to be answered, or no, it's not a question that has to be asked. Any coach knows the structure in football. If you pick up your squad, you have to do it with the technical director or the technical directorate. From there it comes to the management, and it comes up the next ladder, NLC. And you have to convince me or us as to how and why Mr. A, Mr. Z has to be in the squad. It's simple, it's normal. It's very normal. And we're not going to depart from this structure. At all times, the list must go through the system for final approval. And we'll stay with that.
Ghana is set to play South Africa. South Africa's invited players includes a player who plays for Carlisle United in the League 2. Ghana has invited a player who also plays for a club in the League 2, and that has generated a lot of comments all over in Ghana. As the president of the FA, when you hear comments like that, how do you feel?
Well, I think that football is full of passion. People see and consume football in varied ways. For a reason, I will not stop or be angry with somebody who is looking at the business of football in a different direction. Okay, but having said that, it is the firm commitment of this FA to bring every available talent for the use of Mother Ghana. We will not depart from that. When we took office, we undertook an aggressive strategy of looking for every Ghanaian anywhere in the world that has the capacity to add value to our football industry. Whether you're a doctor, you're a player, you're a nurse, we want to fish out everybody and bring everybody on board, okay? And we will not depart from that. And I always say this, that my son was born in England. He lives in England, but he's a Ghanaian, for which reason he must not deprive the opportunity of representing his country if he so desires. Okay, so everybody who is a Ghanaian must be given the opportunity to represent his country if he's of that quality and if the federation wants him. Simple.
The under-20 recently won the AFCON. That was a top-up to the waffle that they won in Benin. Is that the stepping stone for your administration to win all the trophies that Ghana will be participating in?
Well, I did say from the beginning that it's important for us to get the fundamentals right. And if it is that we get the fundamentals right, we will get our premium brand being very competitive and dominant. What did I mean by that? Our black maidens, our black princesses, our black starlets, our U15 and the U20 have to be competitive. And when it is that they are competitive, at all times we'll get 1 or 2 or 3 or maybe 5, if we are lucky, top talents coming through to the first team of Ghana. Okay, and that's what excites me, and that's why I'm so excited that we're able to achieve something special at the waffle, and then crown it with the ultimate at the U20 AFCON. Okay, what that means is that the future of our Black Stars looks very, very bright. For 12 years, we were not able to make it to the finals of the AFCON U20 level for 12 years. Let alone to win the trophy, okay? And that tells you, and that gives you the reason why, or that explains why our Black Stars became, or the production channel, or the production cycle of players from the youth level to the Black Stars was stalled, okay? Because we were not able to be at the best gathering of African youth talents, yeah. For which reason we were not able to produce super talents for our senior most national team. But once we are there regularly, our national team will be stronger, and we'll have more talents coming through at all times. It is the vision of this FA that we will be present at all youth tournaments as much as we can, and we can only do that if we scout well, if we find the right talents, if we give them the right working environment with the right coaching setup, and then they can be competitive, and then we can have the super talents going up the football ladder.
How disappointing was the performance of the U17 at the AFCON at the Waffle?
Well, I honestly got sick after we were eliminated, because I was very expectant. I didn't believe that we would not make it, because I thought that we had a good collection of players. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Okay, but we all have big lessons to learn from that exercise. And going forward, I believe that our U17 will be competitive. They will follow, hopefully, the footsteps of the U20 lads and make Ghana proud. I expect same performances for all our national teams, male, female, at all times. This is a challenge that I pose to all the coaches at all times, that we have to be competitive, we have to be the very best at all times, and failure should not be part of our history.
We cruised higher, and very soon we are landing at the Kotoka International Airport, where we shall be talking about the CAF elections. We cannot speak to the president of the Ghana Football Association without mentioning anything about the CAF elections. Mr. President, Ghanaians feel disappointed when you threw in the towel and withdrew your candidature for the CAF ESCO, and many people aren't seriously happy with that, because Ghanaians felt that this is the time that we have a young and vibrant FA chairman who...
How young? You always say young, but the man is not yet that young.
You are young,
the young is the 30s and the 40s.
So really?
I mean...
So you have an old man?
Yes, I'm an old man.
then decide with old man. So, Mr. President, why did you throw in the towel at the 11th hour?
I don't know whether that is the right adjective to use. I did not throw in a towel. It was not a boxing match. But I considered the total good, first of all, of Waffle. I considered the total good of Ghana football. And I thought that on the scale of the issues on hand, it was always better for us to take one step back and to take 5 steps forward not too long from now.
CAF has a new leadership with Mr. Mosepe as the president, Patrice Mosepe as the president of CAF now. What's your relationship with him personally?
Well, I have a very good relationship with Patrice. Unknown to many, Patrice was in Ghana to meet with me before the elections. We share a lot of ideas together. I think that it behoves on all of us to give him the needed support. For the first time, he has 5 vice presidents. The next few weeks and months will be the most challenging period for him, to get the unit together, working as a family, and to believe in his vision. But I believe that we are in for a new era, an era where all of us collectively have roles to play, and Ghana will be at the top of the new era. Ghana is a big football nation, and we deserve all the respect as a football nation for what we have achieved as a nation and as a country that develops amazing intangible assets, who have shown amazing quality across the globe. We don't belong to a no Ghana era on the African continent, and believe me, Patrice will work with Ghana, and Ghana will not be a loser in this new era. I believe that we are well positioned to stake our claim again on the African continent.
So soon we've brought our interaction with the president of the Ghana Football Association to an end. It's been very educative and very, very informative. I'm very much optimistic that you did not, miss a blink of this interview that we had with the president, and you really enjoyed it. Mr. President, thank you very much for your time, and we hope that anytime that you want to come back again for such an interaction, thank you very much for your time, and God bless you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.